It's Playhouse 194 as we enter a round of textual healing today from Playhouse family member Andrea. She wants to know what you think of this and text the following. Does anyone have experience with a DIY divorce? Husband and I are definitely done. We don't have kids and are thinking about doing it without lawyers. Think this could blow up in our face, or did you do it and we're happy you did it that way? So basically, she just wants to print out all the paperwork off, nd.gov/geocities-divorce.angelfire.com. It's out there. Not that address, obviously. And just do it themselves, or do you think they would regret that? I guess it helps that you don't have kiddos. I think that's probably the most complicated thing people deal with, right?
Can you just do it yourself?
You can, but you got to agree on like everything and follow their paperwork to a T. To a T.
I mean, you're going to be saving money.
True.
You don't have kids. What are you really going to argue about?
And do you got like a bunch of assets? What do you got for like homes and properties? Like because you've got a house and like a lake cabin and a bunch of 401ks and savings fund. Like if you agree on everything is one thing.
I think, yeah, if it's going to be simple, it's like doing your taxes at home.
Who gets the yacht though?
See, that's why you couldn't. If you had that kind of money, you probably are going to go to a lawyer.
Yeah, honestly, I think it probably depends what you have, but we will kind of do a quick poll for you here in Textual Healing there, Andrea, and see if other people have experience doing it themselves, and if they were like, oh, crap, should have got a lawyer, or if they're happy they did. 237, it's text 35270. Do you think the DIY divorce is going to be a good idea, or can it blow up in your face?
The Playhouse in the morning. Your life, your stories, your morning show.
Y94.
It's Playhouse 194, the number one hit music station. There's Amy K. I'm Zero in the middle of textual healing this morning with Playhouse family member Andrea, who basically posed the question, if anybody has experience with like a DIY divorce, were you happy you did it that way, or did you wish that you lawyered up? Basically, she and her husband know that it is over, and she has been contemplating just printing out all the paperwork and doing it themselves, turning it in and doing it lawyerless. They do not have children, and she's wondering if that seems like something that's a good idea, bad idea. You did this and wish you didn't. Blew up in your face, huh?
Totally. I mean, we thought we were going to be all amicable and divide everything up evenly, and it just got out of hand. Eventually we just got resentful and angry, and we couldn't do it. It was a total disaster. We ended up hiring lawyers, and it took forever. It just made it worse.
Was there one sticking point in particular that caused you guys problems, or?
It was our house. Definitely our house. It was just a total nightmare.
All right. So being cooperative didn't really work out in your guys' favor.
Well, we have to we're not friends, but, we have to see each other because of the kids, but it's not great. We probably should have just gone with the lawyers in the beginning.
Okay. So that would be a vote against for you there, Andrea. Amy Kate, what are we seeing?
Someone said, I did it with kids. If you can agree, it can be done. But also, I gave everything to the ex because of the kids. Someone else said, we owned a house and had kids. It was very smooth because we agreed on everything. And I think that's kind of the thing. If you agree, someone else said, if you and your ex are on good terms, then definitely do it yourself. Definitely a good idea. But if you do need help filling out forms, you can hire a neutral attorney who will kind of hold your hands, do all the paperwork for the two of you. I think we even hired one for about $1,000. They were able to write up the agreement and do the whole case. It was definitely worth it.
Man, there's an idea for you. Like somebody, like you're not necessarily each having one where you're battling each other, but like working together with one just to make sure you get it all done properly to walk you through it. I don't hate that idea. That might be a good idea.
It seems like they're probably on good terms if they're deciding to go this way.
If you're even having that conversation, you at least think there's nothing you're going to fight over. And if you can kind of go through those key things real quick, okay, there's no kids. Like if we're like, who's getting what amounts of money and who's going to stay in the house? Or are you just selling the house? Are you splitting 50-50? Do you have cars? Like if you just kind of run through that, who's going to pay off this credit card, that credit card? If you can make that list, maybe then you go just sit down with somebody and just whip right through it.
Someone else said, if you're both can agree and be nice towards each other, definitely save the money, spend it on other things for yourself. When my ex and I disagreed on something, we hired a court-recommended mediator to help navigate. We had to go through that twice, and it was very helpful.
And what do you think of DIY divorce? Good idea, bad idea?
I mean, it works fine for me. I think it's great, especially if you don't have any kids or anything that's going to be a major complication. My ex and I, we did a do-it-yourself divorce, and it was just fine. We actually were able to sit down and talk like two, decent human beings. We just paid like $500 for the paperwork and got it all settled, and we're much happier now.
Now, the happy compromise for you, Andrea, is what we're getting is the person that was just like, hey, maybe you just get one person to walk through it with you if you feel like you need that. This may be the happy compromise. It's funny because when we first looked at this and I saw DIY and I saw the word divorce, I didn't even think this is what we were talking about. I thought you had a DIY project that went so poorly you felt like it was going to lead to a divorce.
I mean, I think everyone has been there.